can get things together for the stretch run. The Orioles, 2 games up on the Sox in the standings, visiting the Yanks bottom 2. Hey, Alex Rodriguez is still hitting home runs. Solo shot to left. That is number 695 on his career. 1-0 Yanks. That number is staggering. Top 3, the Orioles, Jonathan Scope. He doesn't have 695 home runs, but he has one here that ties the game at 1. But that's all the damage against Ivan Nova, who was terrific tonight. Yankees win 2-1. The Orioles lead over the Sox down to a game and a half. On Friday, Tom Brady threw in the towel on Deflategate, but that doesn't mean the NFLPA won't take it to the Supreme Court. In today's Monday Morning Quarterback article, Mike Florio reports Brady has given the NFLPA the go-ahead to bring the appeal to the Supreme Court. Brady will still sit out the 4 games next year, but it would set a precedent and he'd get a $250,000 back in his pocket. Recent P. Bruins head coach Bruce Cassidy recently made the jump many of his players have, moving up to Boston from Providence, where he'll be an assistant. Today, the club named his successor. And it's a familiar name, Kevin Dean, an assistant under Cassidy. He fills the role. He's been with Providence for 5 years. Dean had previous coaching stops in the Devils organization and was an NHL player drafted out of New Hampshire. Speaking of coaches, Mike Martin at Brown is adding a familiar name to his staff. Former PC standout and NCAA Defensive Player of the Year John Linehan, the former Friar, jumping aboard as an assistant. Martin and Linehan, believe it or not, used to play against each other in college. Brown versus PC. Linehan comes over from Drexel. Brown also added St. Anselm assistant John Mariano. The Olympics in Rio are fast approaching, and while you may go out for a leisurely jog this summer, you may just bump into Providence's Molly Huddle, who continues to prep for the Olympics. Huddle is gearing up to run the 10K. She finished first in the U.S. trials in both the 10K and 5K, but will focus on the longer run for her second stint in the Olympics, this time with her eye on the podium. She joined me earlier in studio.
In 2012, it was hard to not be a spectator. You know, you're there and you're seeing it with your own eyes rather than through the TV screen, and you have to remind yourself, I'm here to run, I'm here to do it, in a way, do a job. So yeah, it's definitely dreamlike.
Catch our full interview Tuesday night on the Sports Wrap. Patriots safety Nate Ebner, also an Olympian. He'll represent USA on the rugby team, the only NFL player to be Olympic bound. Ebner, who played rugby in college, will be away from the Pats August 6th through 11th wearing a different blue and white jersey. Still to come on the Sports Wrap, a hoops standout earns this week's Hero Honors.
He helped Glasgow bring home the Division I title this winter. David Duke now ready to test himself against the best players in New England. I'm JP Smallins. I caught up with your Cardi's Furniture hometown sports hero to talk about his year and the new challenges he will face in the fall in the knapsack at Cushing Academy. His story's coming up in the Sports Wrap continues.
The Flood Auto Group Sports Wrap continues on Fox Providence.
Welcome back. Classical's David Duke has a scholarship offer from every D1 hoops team in the state, PC, URI, Brown, and Bryant. And he's not even done playing high school hoops. JP Smallins has his story as this week's hometown hero.
He saved his best for Classical's biggest games, junior David Duke overcoming an early season hamstring injury to average over 20 points a game in the postseason, including 26 in the Purple's Division I title win over Hendricken.
David's biggest issue coming into this year was playing at 6'3". When he came in as a freshman, he was 5'6", and very skilled, but he was 5'6". In a year and a half, he went from 5'6" to 6'3". Now he's 6'4", almost 6'5". So he had to learn how to play at that height, whether it be, the size of his hands, shooting the ball, handling the ball, finishing at the rim at a different height. That really took a little bit of time. Once he realized what he was actually capable of doing at his size and with his skill, he was by far, in my opinion, the best player in the state.
His breakout title game opening the eyes of college recruiters, the point guard with offers from 7 Division I schools, including PC, URI, Brown, and Bryant.
It was great. That night after the championship game, I got that call from Brown and got my first offer, and that was just, I can't even explain what it felt like. And then, that same night I got another one, and ever since then, almost every week, it's just been another school, and it's been great, but you got to stay humble and keep working just to be to the top.
In order to reach that next level, David has decided to move on to Cushing Academy in the fall. The Penguins reached a NEPSAC AA championship game last season and feature Mackay Ashton Lankford, the 32nd best prospect in ESPN's Top 100. Increased exposure and the ability to face the best talent, enough reason to leave the Ocean State.
There was a lot of factors played into it. One being that I'm young for my class, so reclassing I'd be amongst other kids that are around my age. And it was just a good chance to get out there a little bit more. Cushing travels all around New England rather than just staying in one state. I have a little bit of chemistry with some of the guys over there, playing AAU with them on Mass Rivals. It's a new start, but I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, he's a kid that's still growing. He's obviously got to get stronger, and those things will come. He works tirelessly on his game. He's a great student. He's a better kid than he is an actual ball player. But I think that the future is very bright, and there's no telling how far he can actually go.
With your Cardi's Furniture hometown sports hero, I'm JP Smallins.
Thank you, JP. Still to come on the Sports Wrap, Mike Antolini from the Deutsche Bank Championship in with Mark Dondero to preview the big tournament Labor Day weekend. Stay with us.
The Flood Auto Group Sports Wrap continues on Fox Providence.
Welcome back. It was a thrilling British Open over the weekend. Before you know it, the top golfers of the world will return to the area for the Deutsche Bank Championship Labor Day weekend at TPC Boston. Here's Mark Dondero and Tournament Director Mike Antolini.
All right, pleased to be joined now by Mike Antolini, the Tournament Director for the upcoming Deutsche Bank Championship at TPC Boston. Mike, thanks for joining us. It's about a month and a half away, Labor Day weekend, the tournament. We look forward to it every year. What is the one thing that you couldn't wait to get in here today to tell me about?
Well, we're really excited for the 2016 Deutsche Bank Championship. We have tickets on sale. We have a really taken a good look at the experience, not only for the players inside the ropes, but also the fans outside the ropes. So we have some great options that are going fast. We have reserve seating, stadium seating on the 16th green. We have our Champions Club. We have our Vivid Seat Signature Club overlooking 16. We also have some great volunteer opportunities. So you can come and spectate, but you can also be a part of the action behind the scenes and serve as a volunteer, which is a very rewarding experience.
Great opportunities for fans to be a part of the tournament or just to enjoy the tournament. It's not a major championship, we know that. However, the field is akin to a major championship. Explain that for people that may not be as familiar.
Yeah, sure. So second leg of the FedEx Cup playoffs, the top 100 players in the world really on the PGA Tour's FedEx Cup standings. Just our list of past champs, of course, Ricky Fowler, defending champ, and Rory McIlroy. Phil Mickelson is a past champ. Henrik Stenson. Jordan Spieth obviously plays every year, as does Jason Day and Dustin Johnson. It's a who's who of PGA Tour golfers that tee it up at TPC